This tutorial we're going to be teaching you how to make the explosion happen when the rocket touches one of the meteors, and that of course will end the game. So we'll need to stop the timer, all of that stuff. Okay, so you should already have the explosion sprite loaded, and in the explosion sprite the costume should have 8 different costumes. And everything else should be working. So your rocket should, when it hits the meteor, it should stop. And right now we're going to add in the explosion and end the game. Okay? All right, so we're on stop. I'm going to go into my code. So the first thing that I want to happen at the beginning of the game is when the green flag is pushed, and that's in the event, then I want the explosion to just hide. And the explosion does not need to be there until the very end of the game. So I'm just going to hide it right at the beginning. And there is my hide button. There we go. So that's done. So if I click it, you can see the explosion is no longer there. Okay, the next thing that I want to have happen is going to be when the game ends. Now if you remember when we were doing the tutorial for the meteors, we created in the tutorial for if it's touching the rocket ship, I wanted it to broadcast the game is over. So now in the explosion, we're going to receive. So in the event that I receive game over, so when I receive game over, it's going to broadcast it when it's touching a rocket ship, and then that means that my this is going to receive it when it's broadcast. So now I get to tell it what happens when that's received. By the way, I believe in the last tutorial I only had one of these. If you want to make multiple ones, you just simply right click on the code and duplicate, and it will copy the costumes as well as the code that was in it. And that's why we waited till after we had all the code to do the duplicate. Okay, and then I also wanted to point out that in the rocket, I think I missed. So yeah, because in the costume that we're about to do, we're going to tell the rocket ship to hide when it hits the rocket ship, hits a meteor. Then at the beginning of the game, when the green flag is clicked, we need to add a code in that says that it's going to show. So it's going to point in that direction, or go to that position, point in that direction, and it's going to show up. So now we know that even if we hide it at the end of the game, the next time that somebody clicks the green flag, it will know to show the rocket ship. Okay, so now back to where I was. I am in the rocket, or the explosion, and I am receiving the game over prompt. Okay, so this is kind of a new one. I want you to tell the code that you want it to go to the front. So let me see if I can find that. It's going to be in the looks, and it's going to say go to, oh come on, it's got to be right here. Oh, right there. So go to front. So I want my explosion to be the front layers. What that means is if I have the rocket ship on top of a meteor, then either the meteor's on the top in the front or the rocket's on the front. Well, I'm teaching it that I want the explosion to be in the front so that the rocket ship is not on top of the explosion, it's behind the explosion if it's still showing. Okay? The next thing I want the explosion to do is go to the rocket ship, or whatever sprite you have it named. Mine's called rocket ship. So because the rocket ship is floating around all the time, then this is going to change. And so at the moment that the broadcast, I broadcast game over, the rocket ship will be at a specific position, and now the explosion will go to it. Okay? And at that point, I'm ready to show it. Okay, so I'm now going to show the explosion on top of the rocket ship. And then, so if I do it right now, you'd see it. See how it's on top when it hit it, and it's showing. Okay, now I've got to teach it to cycle through the costumes, and I would hope that right now you already know how to do that. It's going to repeat 8 times, and the reason I choose 8 is because there are 8 costumes, and the looks, I'm going to say next costume. Okay, so let's take a look at those costumes real quick. You see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so it's going to go through all those next costumes, and then as soon as it's done, I want it to hide. Well, I got a couple little concerns that I figured out. Is first of all, computers are really, really fast. And so when I see that happen, it happens so fast that I won't see the explosion. So I'm going to actually tell it to wait. So I'm going to go, and I'll probably do the wait right before it changes the costume rather than after the next costume, so that we actually see that portion of the explosion, the very beginning. And this is going to be a very short amount of time. I have been kind of monkeying with it, and I've found that the 0.03 time frame is just about right. That's less than 1/10 of a second. It's 3/100ths of a second. Okay, so that's really, really fast still, but it makes it so that it does it. Okay, and then so now it's going to cycle through, and it's going to do that 8 times, and so it'll go from. And by the way, you do need to have number 1 selected. If you have this selected, then it's going to go to the next costume and go to a loop, and it'll end right here. So you need to have that one clicked, number 1 clicked, and these need to be in order that the explosion goes, and it's numerical order. The number is the number after the 13. Okay, and the last one is 61. So even though they're not back-to-back numbers, they're in numerical order. Okay, so I'm going to click back so that I'm starting on 1. Okay, so wait 0.03 seconds. I'm going to repeat it 8 times because there's 8 costumes, and I'm going to go to the next costume. Okay, and then once the explosion is complete, after those repeat ones are going to happen, are done, cycling through, what I want to do, I want to now hide the explosion. Okay. And then for the sake of the game, doing other stuff, I'm going to add in just another wait a few seconds, and I can edit this as much as I feel like I need to. I'll have it wait for a couple seconds. And so at this point, the game should stop, right? So I should stop all. Okay? And when I say stop all, that means all the code that's in the rocket, all the code that's in each of these meteors, and in the explosion. Okay, so let's try it. When I touch that, something didn't work. So let's see what happened. Wait 3 seconds. Wait 2 seconds. Repeat 0.03. Next costume. Hide it. Wait 2 seconds and stop all. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, so it's not cycling through my explosion the way I need it to. Let's double check our costumes, and they are good. And we have that one selected. Okay. Okay, I'm going to check in my rocket and see. Oh, there it is right there. I saw it right away. Okay, so I have a code in my rocket that already tells everything to stop all, and it does it right away when it receives the game over. So I am going to just get rid of that, and let's see what happens. That was kind of interesting. Okay, and it's still not stopping all. So let's take a look at our explosion. I should have a wait 2 seconds and stop all. So I can get exploded lots of times. And it should be waiting 2 seconds. But there it finally stopped. So that was a lot longer than 2 seconds. So maybe we won't wait 2 seconds right here, and I'm just going to stop all. Let's try that. Okay, it started going through the costumes. It looked like it did it twice. I can see I'm on number 4, so I'm going to go back to number 1, go to the code. So that might have been just something from, So that one worked, other than it didn't hide the rocket. So now I need to teach my rocket that when I receive game over to wait probably 3 seconds, then hide. Okay, so I'm going to go. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to go to my rocket ship, and in the event that I receive, when I receive game over, I want to wait, and we'll just say, I can say 2.5 seconds, and then I want to, so this one I could actually say hide, looks hide. And there's a couple different ways you could do that. So now you'll see that as I touch it, okay, instead of hide, let's actually just, he's still flying. That's part of the problem. So when I receive, instead of waiting, I'm just gonna do, instead of stop all, I'm gonna stop all scripts in this sprite. So that means that it's gonna stop doing that automatically, which includes the timer, which is a good thing. So let's try it again. Sure enough, there it is. He exploded. And then I also need to tell it to, I probably want to tell it to hide because it explodes and then the rocket ship is still there. So I'm going to tell it to hide first, which is right there. So when I receive game over, I'm going to hide the rocket ship, and I'm going to stop all the scripts in the rocket ship sprite. So stop other scripts in this sprite. Let's try it again. There it is. Okay, now I'm looking at that explosion, and it looks like it's something's funny in the costumes. I'm just going to double check to make sure that these look like they're in the right order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there we go. Okay, so did you notice there right at the end before it hid, it actually moved to number 1, so that's still good. Let's try it again. And it's still on number 1. So I think we're good. We fixed it. Okay, so let's take a look at the code. A couple things that just in review. The first thing I did was bring it to the front. Then I had it go to the rocket ship and show, because at the beginning it's hiding. Then I repeated 8 times. I waited 0.03. You can play with that number a little bit if you want, but it's going to repeat the next costume. And so I do have to slow it down a little bit by waiting in order to be able to see the explosion. And then after I've seen all 8 of the explosions, then I'm going to hide it, and then I'm going to stop all. Okay? And that's the game. You'll notice too that when the timer is counting, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I'm surviving, so my high score is going to be how long I live, and I might want to change the hardness of the game to make it a little harder because I'm not having a hard time evading that. I might add more. So I got 19 seconds, and that's how I do it. Okay, and that's the end of the game. I try to dodge the meteor and try to see how long I can get it to last with my timer. By the way, I think in my other tutorials I had in my variables, yeah, I did. I had to actually switch it back over to timer. I just created a new variable, make a variable, and I named it timer instead of score, which is the same thing. I just titled it different, but the code should be the same. So in the code um, for the rocket ship, it says set timer to 0, show variable timer, so it's showing this right here. And then forever, I wait 1 second, change by 1. So that's just a quick review. I just simply went through and changed this all to timer instead of score. I could click on this and I could tell it to hide it. And so if you have one, then you're having to, you know, reset it. You can just do that. So. Okay, and that's the Dodge the Meteor game. At this point, you'll click on your share button, and then you'll copy the link. Copy that link right there, and you'll submit that link into Canvas under the website URL. Make sure you submit it under website URL in Canvas so that I can click on it and it goes to your page so that I can read it. Okay, and that's the end. Congratulations, you have now done Dodge the Meteor.